Hi, everybody. It's PoliTarology. You're here live with the Cool Crone and Cleo the Seer, and we welcome Deann Shield Maiden Tarot to our channel. Thank you for coming, Deann. We're very happy to have you
today.
Okay, so we were just on Friday night, and we were wondering, do we have anything new to talk about? And we sure do. We absolutely do. So first, let's say hello to Deann. Deann, you want to say something about your channel? I think you have some big news to share.
Oh, yeah. Well, my channel, it's Deann Shield Maiden Tarot. I started it about a year ago, and I just yesterday, I was on 2 days ago with Linda G, and I just yesterday, or no, the day before, I got to my 3,000 subscriber goal, and I just looked just now, and it's up to 3,128. So I've had all kinds of stuff going on that, crazy stuff, but I was on cloud 9 yesterday. I was just giddy, so
Great.
I even seen her on Deann's channel. She was saying, Deann only needs 11 more, because I text like, well, I need 11 more.
I know. I heard that too. That's amazing. So congratulations. That's wonderful. And you're doing a giveaway for the 3,000?
Yes, I'm having a show. I've got a lot of stuff with the house repairs and stuff being done this week and next week, and shows. But the 25th, me and a friend of mine who's a psychic medium, her name's PD Connects, we're going to have a show celebrating you guys, all the subscribers, helping me get to 3,000, and I'm going to do a drawing for 3 half-hour readings. And she knows how to do that thing where it spins everybody's name around. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's in that show, in that chat, will be put down for a drawing for a free reading.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's great. And Cleo, how are you? What's going on with you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I did want to mention something that I haven't seen brought up here on YouTube, and that's for the people that are watching this that don't have an account with YouTube. Mm-hmm. So they can't put in anything into the comments. They can't participate in the chat, and they can't participate in the free readings that we have here. So yeah, I just want to say to the other people out there that run across this video, all you have to do is go to Google, Gmail account, and then sign up for YouTube. And then you can you can do the chat sessions, you can do the comments, and for this, for all of YouTube. So I just wanted to mention that for people that haven't done that yet.
Oh, thank you. It's a good PSA to put out there. That's wonderful.
You both have beautiful backgrounds there. I was just looking.
Thank you. Thanks. So later on in the show, probably about 40 minutes or so in, I'm going to announce the winners for my hitting 3,000 subscribers on my channel, which happened a few weeks ago. And I apologize to my viewers that I did not announce it on Friday, but as I said in my post, all my tools for picking a winner failed. I was unable to pick a winner. So I decided instead of picking one winner, I'm picking 3. So I'm giving away more than just one reading. So you'll be able to do that later.
Put them in here. I have I would write everybody's name on a piece of paper and had it in here. But that's getting kind of hard for me, when you get more people.
That's right.
That's why my friend's going to teach me how to do that spin the wheel thing.
Well, I'd like to learn that too, because the method I used was still a little kludgy. So
I learned to show you.
Okay, great. So we have some fun questions to get to. Deann, could you do us the honors of giving us our questions?
Okay. Well, first I'll tell you the statement, and then you guys tell me how you want to phrase this to a question.
Okay.
Trump, let me go ahead and hit done there. Trump, he asked Bonnie Willis to drop all charges. He's having his lawyers ask Bonnie Willis to drop all charges because he's running for president, because it will hurt his reputation, as if his crime hurt his reputation enough. They want the Supreme Court to disqualify Bonnie Willis and her entire office from ever prosecuting him.
Now, this does not surprise me about Donald Trump and his attorneys. I mean, they're doing another thing down in Florida where they want to postpone the trial until after the election. And basically they just want to dismiss it because it doesn't fall into what they think they're doing, which is the presidential record that they had all the rights to do what they did. So with the thing up in Georgia, I can't. I don't think she's responded yet to this nonsense, right?
No, but Jack Smith is like, no.
Well, of course,
You can't just otherwise anybody. You can murder somebody and say, well, you know what? I'm running for office. I'm throwing my hat in the ring, so you can't do anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And I know that Jack, he's got all this stuff all lined up, and he knows what's going on in every part of the country, not just on the East Coast, but also throughout the country, where there's a group of people that want to get their states to make sure that Trump can't be on the ballot. He can go ahead and run, but just don't put him on the ballot. And I guess they can actually do something with that. We'll see how far that goes. I have real high hopes, but then again, that's just me. That's not actually my guide speaking. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But the thing over in Georgia, no, there's no way in the world that's going to happen.
So how are you going to phrase the question? What will happen, or what will be the response from the court about that?
All right. What will be the response? Let me get my glasses on here so I can see. What will be the response?
And what's that? It's the Attorney General from Georgia, right?
Yes.
Fani Willis.
Fani Willis.
The one who's going after him for election fraud.
Yeah.
Right.
She's the AG. She's the Attorney General.
Right on. Well, I see her just sitting back, kicking back in her chair at her desk, going, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" She's not buying into any of this.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's not just immediately on the phone to Jack Smith going, "Jack, did you hear what?"
I
But we want to know, what will the court do? What will the court do? We know that she's not taking it seriously, but what will the court do?
The court will say no. The court will go right along with Willis on this, and that's the way it's going to go.
All right. The first card that I got was death. It's not going anywhere. The court's just going to reject it out of hand. And Miss Willis, the Queen of Wands, she's just going to be like, "Oh, really, sucker? Yeah. Really? You're coming into my neighborhood and you're throwing this shade? I don't think so."
Yep, I think so too. This is what he's afraid of. He's got the Eight of Swords. He is scared of prison. He is he's in his head. He don't know what else to do. They have so much evidence of him. They don't against him, but he doesn't know what else to do other than win president and pardon himself. He feels trapped. He's worried about being in prison, and he's of course self-victimization. Poor me. It's a hostess hunt. And he's that lack of planning. He has terrible lawyers that really didn't plan very well. They don't know how to defend him. He got rid of all the good ones. So these ones they don't know what to do. So they're throwing it out there, hoping. He's paranoid, depressed, and they don't see any way out, other than postpone it forever and ever. But I get that there is going to be movement, and they are going to go ahead and convict. And I think he's going to get convicted, but they're definitely going to indict him. They're not going to postpone it forever. Otherwise, anybody who wanted to be anybody who gets accused of anything could just run for office.
Yeah, they just run for office. Yeah.
Well, I don't think he knows exactly how to respond to it. So rather than respond to it, just get rid of it altogether is what he wants to do. Because how does he explain the phone call that we've all heard that was recorded where he says, "I need 11,700, I don't know, 11,000 plus votes." Yeah, I mean, there's no way to explain that, and it wasn't. But the other thing is they're going to try to spread it out because it wasn't just him that made those phone calls. But that's the best one. I mean, the best one was him to Georgia. So, but the other, his other attorneys, I believe, made calls too. So they're all in trouble. So they want to get rid of that as much as possible because it's not just Trump looking at some bad news from this particular indictment. It's a bunch of attorneys also, probably some that have already quit. But the court's going to say, no, you can't do that.
And in the papers that he put in for in Miami or wherever it was, where Aileen Cannon was, in those papers, they didn't actually ask for any particular date to have it postponed. They made the assumption in the papers that it would either be dismissed or just, something would happen to it. So that means that he's assuming that he's going to get in as president and he will have it dismissed by Aileen Cannon, which is so arrogant, narcissistic, so foolhardy on his part. I mean, his attorneys, he could have the greatest attorneys in the world, but they're not going to be able to perform at the top of their game because he won't listen to anything they say. He's pulling the strings. He's telling them what to do, and he's not a lawyer. So,
and they're not probably going to get paid, and they're ending up going to ruin their careers over this. They're crazy to even, any lawyer is crazy to even represent him.
Well, the lawyers that he has now, the top lawyer that he has now, would not take the job until he got paid up front. So he asked for a retainer up front, which he thought would be the lump sum of what he was supposed to get. So now Trump is paying his attorneys he was paying them via the Republican Party. They were paying his bills up until, I think, November of last year. And now that's why he has all these, gimmicky fundraising things, but also he has several PACs that you don't hear very much about. But all of those PACs that he has had created are paying his legal fees, which that's something that I think needs to be exposed, because I'm thinking if those PACs are paying his legal fees, though, that's actually a gift because you can't write off legal fees on your taxes. No. So the IRS sees that as a gift. So that's tax fraud. He's getting all this money as a gift and not paying taxes on it. That's another case for Jack Smith.
Yeah. And lawyers, the judge may decide to, they may get in trouble for, what do you call it? When you do something, contempt of court for filing a frivolous lawsuit.
Yes, they will.
It's totally illegal, and they know better. They know better.
Alina Habba was already fined $1 million for doing that. $1 million. She's not a high-powered attorney. How is she going to pay $1 million? I don't know how she's paying $1 million. But anyway, let's get another question going. This is good. We're hot here.
Okay.
We're all warmed up.
My brain was going faster than my mouth could keep up.
Thank you for your questions, Deann. They're much better than the New York Times headlines.
Let's see here. I've got there. You guys probably said you had read on this. Charlie Kirk, about the radio podcaster. He's a conservative podcaster. He dropped out of community college, but he was saying that Black women weren't smart. He made comments, and I heard him. He disparaged Michelle Obama, Joy Reid, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Ketanji Brown Jackson. He said that they took a white person's spot and they weren't smart. They only got those positions because of their color. He neglects to mention the fact that Clarence Thomas and Tim Scott also took advantage of affirmative action, and they're Republicans. So what about them? So, I mean, he flat out said that. So I don't know what we could ask about that. That's just, he's a jerk. But let's see if I got one. How about Ron Johnson? He said Social Security is no fair to the rich. And you remember when they booed Biden, and when he said they were going to try to come after Social Security, and MTG and Boebert, liar. And they all booed him. And he says, well, I like converts. That's good. We made a decision. We're not going to touch Social Security. Well, now McCarthy is also saying, well, we're going to have to make some tough cuts. And what he had said was, he said that, when you're very rich like him, there's a cutoff. You're not taxed on your entire
Yeah.
wealth. There's a cutoff that most of us normal people never even come close to. So they end up paying like 3% of their income. And while we pay a lot more, he says, well, you weren't supposed to have to live on that. It was not supposed to be for, but what he doesn't understand is most poor and middle class people with this, the prices of things, we can't save. When we work, we are just living paycheck to paycheck. Most of America is. There's nothing. So that Social Security, if they cut that, there's elderly people that can't afford food and things right now. So I wonder, is he going to get away with cutting Social Security? And I also feel like that's really stupid because there's a lot of Republicans on Social Security that are going to not vote for him on that issue alone.
Who are we talking? Are we talking about
Ron Johnson?
Say the name again.
Senator Ron Johnson. He said Social Security is not fair to the rich.
Yeah.
And he's a Republican?
He's a Republican senator. And he was going on and on, about that. And
He's a MAGA, right?
MAGA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Democrats have a little bit of control here, there's no way that they are going to touch Social Security.
I don't feel there is either. I don't think that, because it's especially during an election year, when you're wanting to win an election, what a stupid thing. They're getting rid of all the women, all the people of color, people on Social Security. They're just giving it to the Democrats if they keep doing this.
Exactly. If
they want to be reelected and if they want to keep their family jewels, they're going to leave Social Security alone. I mean,
it's popular. It's popular. Yes. Majority of the Americans want it and need it.
Well, and I think Biden. Go ahead.
Are we reading on this?
I wanted to know if I intuitively I no way, but we can read on it if we want.
Oh, I'm just slow. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. I'll stop interrupting.
While you guys are flipping your cards, Biden wants to increase Social Security.
Yes.
Most Democrats want to increase Social Security. And that's exactly what I see happening in the future is there's going to be increases. Now, like last year, was it last year or the year before? They increased it more than they had ever that I know of. And that was really helpful. However, because they increased it that much because of inflation. So depending on where inflation goes, we want inflation to go down, but when you're on Social Security, you want inflation to go up because you get more money. But but inflation is starting to level off a little bit. In the end, though, I think President Biden, just especially before 2024, before the election, is going to do something to make sure that increase happens. Just in case he's not there to make it happen after that, if he doesn't get to be president again, which right now we're all thinking that he does get to be president again.
I feel that Biden is going to win. I feel like there's going to be, I got Wheel of Fortune. I feel there's going to be some changes to Social Security in 2024, and they're going to actually help Social Security because with the groceries and things like that, people are really struggling right now, especially on fixed incomes. So I think Biden's got a good heart, and I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. It says, I got the King of Swords. He's ruthless. It's ruthless. It's uncaring. That's how people are going to feel about him. They're going to feel like he's ruthless, uncaring, that he's cold and irrational, that this is just an irrational decision. There's no way he should be doing this. I feel like that people are going to come together. They're going to come together to keep Social Security. And this Ron Johnson, I feel like that's going to be, it's the end of him. If he has a re-election coming up, I don't know when he does. I think just that topic that he went on, I think it's goodbye.
Well, I've never heard of the guy before.
Oh no, so he's been in and out of the news quite a lot because he's a MAGA.
Well, that's probably why I haven't heard it, because as soon as I see that, then I just move on to a different article.
I'm going to see when he's up for re-election. And he's one of Washington's wealthiest senators, argues against rich paying fair share to ensure Social Security.
Mhm.
Oh, God. So
When is he due to be
That's what I'm
reelected?
looking for. Oh, God. His website is just nauseating. Ugh.
He is nauseating. You should have
Yes.
heard him. So unfeeling, uncaring. Well, they have theirs, so they don't care. There was a homeless man, somebody told me, I think it was Linda had told me, that was out in the heat. I mean, there are poor people. He was out in the heat and it's so hot that I guess his body temperature, she said, was 107, and they took him to the hospital and he had 3rd-degree burns. His heart was still going. They people like that, they're seniors. They're going to be more people on the street like that, if he does something like that. I mean, it's horrible. If he's due to be reelected, I get he's not going to be.
I got bad news for you. He just got elected in 2022. So he's in
Okay.
for 6 more years.
And what state is he from?
Wisconsin.
Okay, well,
Can I just let me bring up
maybe
his
this is the
website.
death of the Republican,
It
winning.
might be the death of his career.
Yes.
What happened to his website here? Let's see. Here we go. Can I just share my screen real quick and show you just how goofy his website is?
Mm-hmm.
He is, man, oh man. Screen. Oh, this is disgusting.
He's lost the respect of Democrats and Republicans.
oh, that guy.
Yes.
How can we help? Help by, why don't you just step down? That's one way you can.
There you go. How can we help? Well, that gun you love so much, I can tell you where to direct it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't wish ill on anyone. I meant that in the most loving and kind way possible. And don't you forget it.
Okay, this guy does get a little respect from the Republican Party. So
I don't know why, because he's
because all the Republicans think that way. All the Republicans want to wipe out Social Security. All the Republicans want to do.
But isn't Wisconsin where they did their trial run for January 6th on their Capitol steps? Isn't that where they had those? They had those kind of like a motor protest where all the trucks and everything were all dolled up with all the MAGA stuff, and everybody had their guns, and they were driving big circles around their Capitol and intimidating people. And then a couple days later, they did it for a couple days, and then they finally just stormed the Capitol. And they beat the doors down. You guys don't remember this?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, I got so
I guess I do watch
what
more
was
news than
actually
you guys
happening
do.
at the Capitol. I was just dumbfounded. I mean, it was just.
Yeah, they actually damaged the doors to the Capitol because they literally beat them in. I think some guy had.
I saw the insurrection. I saw everything.
Yeah, the insurrection.
Not in Washington, D.C., in Wisconsin.
Oh, in Wisconsin? No.
They tested it out first to see how it was going to work?
Yes,
oh, my
in Wisconsin, they did this drive-around thing. It looked like how they have those antique car shows? They'll all go to Wendy's and park in the parking lot with their big cars. Okay, they did a thing like that, except instead of vintage cars, they were their big old F-450 trucks, and they were all dolled up with, flags. There were Confederate flags, American flags, camo, guns, bumper stickers, I love Trump, Trump flags, all over the place. And they did this Gary, if you can tell me, Gary Atkins, if you can tell us if I'm saying this right or if I dreamed part of this, because I'm pretty sure I saw it in real life. It was more than one day that they did these drive-by, like circling the wagons, like intimidating the natives thing, and then they just full on attacked the Capitol.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yet they had that Ray Epps, he was an insurrectionist. So here's another one. He was an insurrectionist at January 6th, and he's suing Fox News because for saying that he was the one who encouraged the violence, and he's connected with the FBI. He lost his home. He lost his business. He had to move to another state. He's being harassed. He said that he went to the Capitol because Trump told him to. And Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ted Cruz all spread this misinformation with no evidence. So I'm wondering if how will that lawsuit go?
And you already said this, right? I was pulling up the him on the Google machine. You said he had to leave his home, right? With
Yes,
his
he
family.
had to leave his home. It says he had to leave his home. He lost his business. He had to move to another state, and he's being harassed. And this was a MAGA person who
Yes.
loved. See, that's the thing. You can love him. You can kiss his butt. But it's the second you disagree with anything, you're a rhino.
But here's the thing, he didn't disagree.
No, he didn't.
He just got marked as a scapegoat, and
Yes.
all of a sudden his name is shit, and he's going down the toilet with people. I mean, he's got to feel so betrayed. That's got to be awful. That's got to be
So
awful.
I'm wondering, is there going to be lawsuits? He's suing Fox. But
Yes.
I also wonder if Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ted Cruz, all of them, they should be sued too.
Well, they should be. They should be. And I think these other kind of lawsuits are going to come up. It depends on how much evidence they have, what kind of a good attorney they have. If it gets too out of hand, Fox News will try to shove it under the rug, make a payoff, do something so that they're already in enough trouble over this thing. So, yeah, and the other people you're talking about, we've been talking about for months that these guys, Ted Cruz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the different ones are all in trouble. But maybe it is some kind of a lawsuit thing. I thought it was going to be more of their connection to the thing in Georgia or the insurrection, but maybe it is a lawsuit. I need to think about that.
He's connecting it to the Dominion case. He's based off of the Dominion case where they won that much because they were lying about saying that he didn't win that it was rigged. And so they're in trouble.
And I think he's trying to hire the same attorneys or one of the attorneys who did the Dominion case. But at the very least, he's gotten an agreement with those attorneys to share the evidence that they used against Fox, because a lot of it shows him, a lot of it involves him, and that will give him the ability to, win the case. But I did some cards on this. He's, this guy is, man, he deserves so much. He really deserves so much. Right now, he is coming up as the Queen of Cups. This has wrecked him. He's just an emotional ball of mud. This guy is just like, he's so like, do you know the word reamed?
Yes.
He is emotionally reamed. He is just, this was almost a religion for him. And his God not only fell, but turned around and smote him.
Is he the FBI guy?
No, this is Epps. This is the civilian that believed in Trump, heard Trump say, go to the, am I doing the wrong question?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's what I was doing the wrong question. But he gets both the Emperor and the Hierophant. So I'm thinking that he's thinking, God, can I even trust the government to do a lawsuit for me? Because he so deeply believes what the MAGA have taught him that he is scared to death. Mm-hmm. If he wasn't already scared with the death threats, he is just shaking in his boots now because he doesn't know who he can trust. He sees that the lawyers for Dominion are quite capable. So I think one of these, maybe the Hierophant, is probably the attorneys for Dominion that are going to help him out. He just does not know what to do. He's just like, just tell me, give me a new God to worship and I'll worship them, because he can't make decisions, really. He's a mess. He's just a mess. It is going to work out very well for him. He's going to get a really, really good settlement with them. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to help a lot for him to rebuild his life. But while I was shuffling the cards for him, and you guys were talking about lawsuits against the other Congress people and senators, I got a hit. And the hit that I got is that there are going to be like 3 or 4 different waves of lawsuits. Like this first wave is mainly about Trump, but some of his periphery high-level people and a lot of the attorneys and the January 6th people. Then there's going to be another wave of people who are a little bit below that, and that's going to start to pull in the senators and Congress people. And then there's going to be another wave that really pulls in like the Fox people, the more stuff on like the Giuliani's and Roger Stone and the other attorneys like Eastman and people like that. That woman, the woman that wanted to be the head of defense or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney?
The Kraken? Not the Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken, yeah. So that one. So there's going to be just round after round after round of these lawsuits. And what the hit was is that I could see Joe Biden, and I think it's when Trump dies.
Mm-hmm.
I got to close that down there. He comes out and he says, it's time that we acknowledge that these people have already been punished. Because by the time that happens, I think a lot of these people are going to be in jail. And he just says, enough. No more.
But, I think there's,
heal.
what is that called when you're in a position where you can't be held liable for something because you're
Double jeopardy?
No. God, I can't think of it. But I'm just wondering if some of these congressmen, some of these senators, some of these other politicians that are involved in this, if they can use their position to say, you can't come after me because I'm a
like Trump's trying to when he was in office. Executive privilege?
No, it's a legal term that a lot of people, like if a prosecutor does something wrong that involved the case, then you can't go after the prosecutor. You got to stick with whatever was going on with the people that were involved in a crime. So I can't remember the word, but it's a legal term, which I'm thinking a lot of these people might. I don't know if they have that kind of thing.
Well, they might try. They might try. But what I was getting is that we're going to come to a frenzy in this country of so many lawsuits pending against so many people that basically center around Trump and his activities and the MAGAs and the January 6th. And that at a certain point, and probably this will be one of the last acts that Biden does as a president, and he just says, no more.
So why are you feeling so emotional about this, Colleen?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know, but it's true.
Well, we've been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. This last 6 years, I think it's we all have post-traumatic stress. We all should sue him for post-traumatic stress, And they saw pictures of him whispering in another MAGA's ear. And so now they're saying, well, look at this picture. Look at this picture. Were you telling them to do the insurrection here? And people thought he is FBI and they're going after him, and it's just, first they said Antifa, which doesn't make sense because why would Antifa storm the Capitol when their guy won? The guy they wanted to win won. And then they said Black Lives Matter. You didn't see a single Black person there.
Right. That's right.
And now they're trying to go after their own. They're going after their own MAGA people. They're eating their own.
It's insane. It's
and
insane.
I think more and more that's going to happen. They're going to eat their own. They're just
because the Republicans for a long time now have just been going down, and they're struggling. They're just trying to stay above water. They're just barely treading water because they know that the party itself, the whole fabric of the Republican Party is disintegrating.
It is.
And so they don't know what to do. You've got half of these Republicans that are like, oh God, support Trump. Then you've got another bunch that says, no, I don't know. And then this group over here is thinking, well, Trump knows a lot about me, so I got to keep supporting him or he's going to ruin my career. And, it's this kind of nonsense that, it's just totally screwing things up.
Is it qualified immunity? Somebody put that in.
I was just going to say that. I Googled it just to make sure. I think that's what you're talking about, qualified immunity.
Oh, so you can't go after somebody because of their position?
Yeah.
They've got qualified immunity?
If they're a state actor, a law enforcement that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't always hold. It doesn't always hold. They can try
I
it.
feel you're right, Colleen. I feel the same way. I feel like that guy is, he loved Trump. He's
He
like one
loved
of those
him.
people, I would die for Trump. I would give my life for Trump. I've heard him say it,
That's so
I've
sad.
never heard him say that about another president. I've even heard, remember when he said I could get on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and they'd still, I wouldn't lose a vote? They went and interviewed people and said, was it true? If Trump would shoot somebody, would you still support him? They go, yep, I'm with him to the end. What does that say about those people? But
they're crazy.
yes,
Totally crazy.
and they say, well, we don't have. I put a thing on my community page. It said, because they're saying, well, why doesn't Biden's people have hats? And he goes, I sell the most hats of anybody. And it's like, well, because we're not in a cult. No other president in history. It's like, yes, he lost, and you're in a cult. The hat says. I said I would wear that if I wasn't so afraid for my life. And it's terrible that you have to be afraid. Me and my husband, we go out to lunch. And we'll be talking and we have to whisper because we don't know who's around us. And we're like scared that somebody could hurt us,
Wow.
I mean, because there's a lot of MAGA people over here and I don't, I just don't trust them,
Right.
And I got with that, we were reading on, let's see, what question were we reading on? I just put down, about Roy Epp. I got that he's going to win that suit. I got the world. He's going to win the suit. He's going to complete that. But I get to, like you, Colleen, I got the Page of Wands in reverse. He feels terrible. He feels gullible. He feels like, he really trusted this guy. And he's like, he feels like, was I a fool? I trusted him. I was willing to give my life for him. My people that fought for him, he said he'd pardon him. We'll come with you. They're going to jail. For all these years. And now he's using them to say, he's using them. I'll pardon you if you vote me in. I'll pardon him then. But I get that he's stayed in a bad situation. He couldn't walk away. He was in this bad situation. So he feels lost. He doesn't know where to move, what to do, because he's probably lost family. He's probably lost friends over this, like many of them do. And swords, he doesn't know what to do. He's got the blindfold and he doesn't know what to do. He just had the inability to see the truth about what Trump was. So yeah, he's torn. It's ruined him. I really think it's right. And I understand why you're crying, because these people truly believe they are on the right side of history. I don't understand it. I have family and friends who believe the same way. Wow. And it's very, very difficult. I don't know one Democrat where I live, not one. You guys are the only people I have. My mom and dad they were union people, factory workers. Mm-hmm. But, I just keep telling my friends, I tried. It's like, you're voting against your own interest. Do you want to lose? You need Social Security? Do you want to lose it? Do you want your daughter? What if she got raped, or your granddaughter, or she had an ectopic pregnancy? I know you don't believe in abortion. Don't have one. But if your granddaughter, something happened to her like that, where she's going to die. There was a woman who almost died here recently. And she's suing also because she was in a red state and she had an ectopic pregnancy and they would not do anything for her. So she ended up having to go by ambulance and she just about died, had to have emergency surgery because they would not take that. And it's not a viable pregnancy anyway. So these men don't even know what they're talking about. You got these old white men making decisions when you can't make a decision for each and every person. You don't know their situation. Right. It's between them.
Well, I'm just glad I live in Washington State, because they totally support abortion. They totally invite anybody from other states to come in if they need that kind of treatment. You can get it here in Washington. And so, yeah, it's hard for me to imagine being in a place where people think like that and they think it's okay to think like that. By the way, I just wanted to say something real quick before I forgot. Jamie Johnson said that they subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. I still don't have the videos up. I don't really have much going on in my channel, but thank you. It's coming soon. I really appreciate it.
Gina,
Okay.
Gary
I
Austin said,
subscribe to you.
"Deann, know how you feel. I'm a blue dot in a sea of red." That's how I feel too.
Yeah. Dan Painter made a comment on behalf of me and my comment about Joe Biden, and I'm just going to put it up here.
Yep.
That's what I think is going to happen.
You think Biden is going to just see that this is just such a huge mess that it just the infighting, nothing is resolved, and so he finally comes.
I think it's a good 3 years out. I don't think it's anytime soon. I think Trump will be gone. I think a lot of his cohorts will be in jail, in prison. I think a lot of people will be in prison, but they'll still be fighting and there'll still be lawsuits. And I think then he'll say, enough. We need to come together and heal.
Well, and because he's been that way from the beginning. Biden has. He's trying to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
But do you think once 2024 that we get this new president, and we hope that it's Biden, that we'll not have to hear about Trump anymore? I mean, I can't believe we still have to hear about him all the time. I was so excited when Biden became president because I thought,
me too. I was dancing. I got me a mixed drink and I ran out. I was so happy. And people in other countries were dancing in the street.
Yeah. Yes, they were all over the place. But no, he's an infection that won't go away and won't heal. I mean, he has infected our country, and the damage that he's caused is long lasting. I mean, we weren't just talking out of our asses when we said this is going to damage the United States. The damage was done, and fixing that is just going to take a long time. But it's okay. When Kamala's president, she's going to have laws passed that all men have to have vasectomies that they can reverse when they're ready to have children.
I said that too. Why not make men do that? Because if you're worried about unwanted pregnancies, that fixes it. And then when you get married and you want to have a baby, you can reverse it.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason they don't want to do that is because I think they're literally creating the Handmaid's Tale. I think that's what they're really trying to create.
I couldn't watch it because it scared me because I thought this is too close to real. I can't.
It's too close to real, right? I know. I hear you. But.
Well, and what are the odds about reversing a vasectomy? I mean,
well, these days I think it's pretty good. No.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just pretty much 50-50 or even less.
No, it's more like, turning off the faucet, turn on the faucet.
It's like cutting the tube and then putting the tube back together. So.
Yeah, it's like rewiring a set of speakers for your stereo.
and the woman that's raped, should she be? They want to put her in prison for having an abortion, but nothing happens to the rapist.
Exactly.
Or the rapist?
And what about the babies that result from this? Who's going to provide the health care and the insurance and the diapers and the braces and the shoes and come on. I mean, it's
so do you guys think that it's going to get reversed, that we're going to go back to the way it's supposed to be, the way it was for 50 years?
I do. And I think they're making a law, and I think they're going to fix it so this doesn't happen again, because there are going to be women that are going to die because of this. And I don't want to say that, but I really feel this one lady almost did.
I think others have already.
Oh, there's already been many, many women who have died because of this. And women who, if they haven't died, they've been left sterile. They can no longer have children because they had to go so long with like sepsis or something before they could be treated, and it left them sterile. And there's that class action suit. Mm-hmm. There's like those women from Texas, I believe, that are suing because they all got messed up because of these not being able to get health care.
It feels like Christian Sharia. You know what I mean? It feels like, it just feels like you're forcing women to be a certain thing that I'm trying to think. I had something I wanted to say and I lost it. It just went.
That's okay. This is such a big country. it's very hard to get people to agree on things that borders on their religious beliefs. Like, we are not a homogenous country. We're really, really varied in what we believe and what we practice. So how could they ever think that something as intimate and delicate and personal as pregnancy could be regulated like that? Like, you have to have the kid? No, you need to have choices. I could see them regulating the choices. Yes, it's okay to get an abortion. Great. Okay, that's a good choice. But this country's just too huge for this.
That's because we have to stop with the women's rights, men's rights, and talk about human rights.
Human rights.
Absolutely.
I remember what I was going to say. If you are raped and you're in a 6 week in Florida, say it's Florida, and they got that 6 week abortion ban. If you are raped, you have to prove. That's what reminds me of Sharia. You have to prove that you were raped. Well, in the time it takes you to go to court and all that, now you have gone past the time and it's too late. But
Right.
then what? You are forced to have a baby, a young girl, maybe you're 14, 15 years, who knows, doesn't matter. But say now they want to take away everything that would help that woman to care for that baby that you are forcing her to have. So if she says, well, I have 3 kids, I can't afford a 4th, and how is she going to pay for daycare? How is she going to pay for food? You want to take away public aid. You want to take away food stamps. You want to take away WIC. You make these people seem like they're just, and they'll tell women, well, they should have kept their legs closed. Well, maybe the guy should have kept their,
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what when it comes to rape, I really do think that they should consider a surgical intervention for men that can't control themselves, that seem to rape women, and make it so that they can't rape anything or anybody ever again. And I know the men just cringe at something like that. But if you have a law in place that was the law and that's the way it's going to be, it would cut down rapes considerably.
Yeah. And she could take him to court, and then what if he's found innocent because he's got a MAGA judge, and then this guy has rights to that baby. So she has to give her baby for visitation rights to a rapist.
That's just a nightmare.
Wow. And it's going to change. I really feel like it's going to change.
I believe that too.
We can't keep doing this. That is the handmaid's tale. That's what we are going towards.
But I get this from like what Colleen was saying, that things won't change within the next year or so. It's going to be a longer wait to get things turned around, especially with the rules on abortion. It's just, I can't believe that this has come to this, and that all these Republican states, it's just, I hope people understand, it is the Republicans that are making this kind of thing miserable for everybody.
The MAGA Republicans, and then some like evangelistic Republicans, but not all Republicans.
I'm getting it's not going to be until 2025, that it is changed back, though. I'm hoping that's wrong. You can't go by that entertainment purposes only. I was using my pendulum mat, and so hopefully that's wrong, but there's going to be some fighting over it. There's,
it might be wrong, but it sounds to me, it feels to me like you're right.
Because that would be after the election, and then they'd probably have a shift in power in Congress. They can get things done. But I think as soon as the indictments and the actual convictions start happening for some of the circle around Trump and some of the Congress people and senators, I think that will also kind of to leave, maybe even before, and I do think actually before the 24 election. I think we're going to lose quite a few Congress people due to legal battles, legal troubles. And when that happens, whoever replaces them, now we got another shift in power. So there is a chance that some of these things, maybe not the abortion issue, but some of these other things, we may be able to change some laws, even before the election in 2024, because the power in Congress will change. So I am hopeful for that.
I think MTG, Gates, and Holly are going to be in trouble.
Oh, yeah, they are going to be in trouble. So,
So I just wanted to ask real quick, this is not about the abortion, but just recently, President Biden said that he's going to forgive all these student loans, and it has been such a big hassle. And yeah, I don't know why he didn't do that before, but can he do the same thing with abortion? Can he come out and say, you know what?
oh,
That's a good question.
let's read on it.
I mean, he did say he's going to forgive student loans, so a lot of people are going to be benefiting from this, right?
Hey, my daughter needs that help so
So
bad.
many.
My cousin's 70-something years old, still paying, and he can barely afford food. You
Wow.
know, he's struggling. He's on it, just got his Social Security. That's all he has, and then he has student loan that he has to pay and try to take that out of his Social Security. And you can't file bankruptcy.
That's insane.
I mean, I had a lot of student loans when I graduated from college, and I stayed in college way too long. But, I did 11 years. It was just ridiculous. I should have been an attorney or a doctor or something with all that. But when I got out, I think the grand total was like less than $50,000 for the whole thing. And I had to pay it off in 10 years. I didn't sell the loans. They didn't get sold. They stuck with the bank that I got them in. And I was able to pay them off, but that's because the economy was good and I was able to get a really good job and then another good job and then another good job. And so I was able to do it. But the way the loans are today, they're not like that. As soon as you graduate, then the loan gets sold and then they increase the interest and then they double this and double that. And before you know it, you owe 4 times as much as what you borrowed.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't the case for me. I feel so bad for the people who have to pay back these loans. What are we reading on now?
You were wanting to know if Biden was going to.
Oh, yeah.
If he can intervene on this abortion thing.
I still think it's going to be a while. I think that there's going to be progress made on it. I think but there's still going to be with the Republicans the ones that are there. There's going to be a lot of conflicts, a lot of fighting, a lot of arguments, a clash of egos. They're stuck in the past. Those Republicans, they want it to be like the 1940s when women were underneath the men. When they don't even like it when women make more money than men. They said that is not right. I've heard somebody complaining about that. But I get that. I think that he is going to change it. But I get that it's not going to be right away either. I think it's going to be 2025 on that too.
Well, on one hand, you're talking about a longer time than we'd all like to wait. On the other hand, you're saying Biden's going to be there in 2025. So, I'll go for that.
I think he'll be there. I think he'll be there in 2025.
I do too. They keep saying stuff about him, like when he was at the beach, like, oh, look at him, he has his shirt off. Well, let's take Trump's shirt off and have him stand next to him in the beach and see who compares,
even the news that's supposedly supportive of him is so negative about him. All morning Joe talks about is how this is interesting. What they talk about is how the media puts him down because he's old. And yeah, he's old, but look at all of his experience. So they're emphasizing that he's old and that people don't like that. And they keep showing polls that show 99% of the country thinks he's too old to run for office. So I'm like, I thought you were supporting this guy. Why are you showing this poll that is so negative, so detrimental? It's just
Trump's only 4 years younger, and he only has high energy because you hear him snipping all the time. You can kind of take your own conclusions to that,
That's
I
what
agree.
says. I don't know. I mean, he acts like he's so down on alcohol and stuff like that. It's surprising to me that he does do that sniffing thing, but.
A lot of people think, well, you got a crook over here and a liar, and a sexual predator, all that. And then over here, you got somebody 4 years older. Which one would I choose? That's doing a good job, that cares about people. He's talking about, what can I do for Social Security? What can I do for the people? Trump is just me. And I'm, you got to give money to me because I am standing in their way. I'm keeping them from going after you. It's like, you liar.
I think that people need to realize that we have to let go of this feeling about that Biden's too old. Is he gonna do older things? Is he gonna make little goofy mistakes like our grandfathers have done? Yes, he's going to do that. I can totally relate when Biden walked up on stage and he started looking around like, wait a minute, where am I? I do the same thing in the kitchen. I mean, what am I doing in here?
I forgot my thought. I went to say something and it just like left.
It's just a natural part of aging. So, but besides the aging, Biden is very intelligent. He has so much knowledge. He knows so much about the government. He's been in politics and in the government, serving us for over 50 years. And I mean, he's just an amazing man. Don't worry about his age. And I'll tell you, if something happens to him, if he gets sick or something like that, Vice President Harris is right there. She knows exactly what he's doing and where he's going, and she'll keep that program going on. But I don't think he is going to get sick.
I don't
either. And let's just look at what he did a week in Europe and look at what he accomplished.
And did you see how aggressive he was on his speeches for Ukraine? Mm-hmm. He wasn't stumbling around. No, he didn't hesitate on anything. Mm-hmm. He knows exactly what he's doing. And thank God he is helping out Ukraine the way he is, because we have to help them.
Yeah. I've looked at his chart very closely. He is not going to be losing his marbles anytime soon. He is not going to suffer from dementia or some sort of thing like that. His brain is too sharp, and he keeps it sharp. He keeps himself in very good health. I think when he does decide to step down, I think it's just totally his choice.
Putin's
he's just going to say, Kamala, you're ready.
Yep.
I'm gonna pass the hat to you. I'm gonna go take a nap. It's just gonna totally be his choice.
Yeah, Putin's hoping that Trump wins. That's he wants, because he'll give him Ukraine.
If Trump would have gotten in here in the first place, this whole war with Ukraine would be a totally different. With Russia, I mean, would be a totally different story, and it would be horrible, just horrible.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's get another question up here. Here's a good one. I'll take it from the chat. Will the 2024 election be a nail biter, or will it be clear that Biden is trouncing whoever the GOP nominee is? I love this question.
Trouncing. I hope that we've got enough smart people that, more smart people than cult people.
It feels like it is. It feels like it will be just a landslide. That can change between now and then, but right today, that's what I feel. I felt it in the past also, but there's a little bit, it depends on who actually ends up being the Republican candidate. I don't think it's going to be Trump, and I don't think it's going to be DeSantis, but they do have this other guy that recently threw his hat in the ring. Is his name Tim Scott? Or
he's good.
The MAGAs are never going to elect a black man as their candidate.
No. It's not the black.
That's Tim Scott is the black senator.
Oh, okay,
Chris Christie, the one who was the ex-governor of New Jersey, the heavyset guy.
Oh, Chris Christie?
Yeah.
No, not him. But actually, I think he would be a good one for the Republicans to support. He'd never win over Biden, but. No, there was this other guy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I watched a long video about him on Brian Tyler Cohen, and he was what state was he from? I want to say Wisconsin. So
I want to say up Rhode Island, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay, then this is a different guy. Yeah, I mean, there's a new Republican candidate every day. So,
okay.
I mean, they're sprouting like daisies in the springtime, you know, they're just all over. Okay, I got some. I got my cards here. Oh, what'd you get?
I got yes with this and yes with the pendulum. So, and
Okay.
I feel yes. I feel like but we can't. Don't people listen to that and think, oh, we got it. Don't need to vote. We have to crawl.
No, we have to vote. We have to vote. So I got 9 of Pentacles because Mr. Biden just doubled his war chest over whatever Trump has been able to bring in. So he has a shit ton of money. And I also, though, got the 7 of Swords. So there is still going to be some hanky-panky going on as far as, you know, manipulating votes, stealing votes, cheating, misdirection, lies, all of that stuff. But in the end, Queen of Cups, that's my Scorpio, they're winning. They really are. But you know what? I also feel between now and the election, I think a lot of things are going to change. I think they're going to change for the better and in our favor, because I think a lot more MAGAs are going to drop off. They're going to begin to see certain issues. Like, I hadn't even thought about this strike, the actors strike and the writers strike, as having an effect on our politics on the whole country, but they do. They have a lot of effect because they are a labor union. So they're right along with like the AFL-CIO labor union. And a lot of people are very pro-union. So I think that's going to bring out of the woodwork a lot of people's real beliefs about unions and equality and fairness for the workers. That's going to look very bad for a lot of Republicans. Remember the statements they're making about Social Security. So they're going to look like crap. And I think this union thing, this strike thing, is really going to paint them in a very bad light. And I think that's going to be one step of people going, no, I don't want that. No, I'm going to back away from that. And I think we're going to have a series of things, maybe 2 more little things like that come up in the country. Like, I can't imagine what they are, you know, but they're going to affect the attitude that people have about Republican politicians and candidates and the Republican Party in general. So I think the closer we get to the election, I think the more favorably people will be looking at the Democratic Party.
Let me ask you really quick, both you guys. How long do you think these strikes are going to last? What do the cards say?
I'm going to do a pendulum on that.
How many months?
3 months? 4 months?
I'm getting 6 months. I don't know if that's right. 5 or 6 months. What are you getting?
Right, that's a long time.
Yeah, about the same. I didn't think they were going to last that long.
Wow.
Well, time is tricky, so, you know.
But does that include the time that we've already spent with the
let's ask.
Well, it just started a few days ago. Oh, with the writers? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, is that combined with the writer strike?
More than 6 months?
Because they've been talking about maybe in September, October, things might get...
No, I asked more than 6 months from now, and I just got the pendulum just hanging still, not doing anything. So
I did throw a couple cards on that question, and I got that about if it's going to be clear that Biden won. And so I got it's going to be good news. This is the signifying card. I got good news that's going forward. I threw a card for the Republicans. I got the Tower, how it's going to go. I threw a card for the Democrats. I got the Ace of Swords.
Score.
So yeah, and then I asked what is going to be the outcome. I got the 9 of Pentacles.
Ooh, nice.
So
nice, very nice. Yeah, I have this vision of the Republicans that they are going to be scrambling to have a candidate in this race, that they may pick somebody and he may go to jail. I mean, I don't think it's looking pretty for anybody in the Republican Party at all. Not at all. And Trump, I think that things are going to come up for him, either health-wise or legal-wise, that's just going to prevent him from actually becoming the candidate. I don't think.
Well, and I think that's part of the problem, that a lot of the Republicans are putting so much hopes into Trump. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? You should have a plan B, because
And C and D, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And they
And
don't.
you know, the stories out with DeSantis now is he's already starting to fire staff and let people go.
Yeah, because you spent too much money. You spent too much
No,
money.
because he's losing, because he can't fundraise.
And Fox is turning on him.
Fox is turning on him. He can't fundraise. He's not making the money. Nobody's coming to his rallies. He went to Iowa and they were like, what is that smell in the room? I mean, they just, well, because he went to Iowa, which is a gorgeous state. It's a beautiful state. But the average age in Iowa is like my age, like 67 or something, or 70. And so it's a very geriatric state. And all he could say was, we're going to make Iowa just like Florida. In Florida, we do this. In Florida, we do that. And they're thinking, you're going to
be like Florida.
No, are you going to take away our Social Security just like Florida? We don't want that. So,
in Iowa, they do farming. They work hard. You know, Florida and Iowa, there's no comparison there.
But they also have a lot of corporate farms in Iowa. I mean, that's why all the people in Iowa who are elderly are just, hanging out there. They're not farming anymore. They're pushing a button and let somebody else do it because they sold to a corporation. Yeah,
he's going to be in trouble.
Well, I don't even think he's going to make it to 2024 January as a potential candidate. And don't get me started on
his wife stole money. His wife stole COVID or hurricane money.
We said this 6 months ago. We said they're going to arrest her for that.
Well, but I want him to go ahead and go as far as he can with this, because it's just going to totally screw up the Republicans to have any kind of decent candidate. And so it makes it that much easier for Biden just to, I feel
like he's going to win their lawsuit against him. He's going to be in trouble for what he did at immigration when he sent those immigrants over to Martha's Vineyard. That's like trafficking. That's illegal. He's going to be in trouble for that. His wife's going to be in trouble because she took all that hurricane money and didn't account for any of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're in trouble. I think they're going to be in legal trouble. He's not going to be able to run, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. So Dan, we answered your question. Yes, it's going to be a trouncing no matter what. Let's read. Can we read on the future of Mike Pence real quick?
I know he ain't going to win.
Yeah, not only that, his future looks very, it's a blank space.
It always was in my mind. I still don't know why Trump chose him for vice president, but
because he could manipulate him and doesn't have to deal with them at all. And he does, just a picture of him looks pretty good. He's got the look.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that he brought the evangelical vote, which is weird. I didn't know there were a lot of evangelicals in Indiana, but apparently there are.
But look, they tried to hang him. They wanted to hang him, and he still stood by Trump. It's like, and he's still, he's like, well, I didn't have a choice in what I did. He got booed and it's like, he has no spine.
Well, but he thinks that if he was to say something against Trump, that would go against him trying to do something too, because he sees all these people that are gung-ho about Trump. So Pence he's walking a fine line, but there's just no way in hell that he's going to get into as a candidate for president. But again, if he did, hey, yahoo, good luck. Nobody's going to vote for him.
His cards aren't terrible, but here's the thing. Trump hasn't even the debate. The first presidential debate is in August, I think. It's less than a month away, and Trump hasn't qualified for it.
He doesn't think he has to do it. He doesn't feel a need to participate.
He's saying that so that it doesn't look bad when he doesn't do it. But the truth is, you have to have more than 40,000 contributors or donations, 40,000 separate donators in order to qualify.
Trump has that.
Pence doesn't have 40,000.
Who doesn't? Oh, Pence. No, Pence doesn't. No.
Pence no. And so he hasn't qualified for doing that debate.
Right.
So he can't even be on the stage with the other people. So, I mean, and honestly, I think if he loses out on this right from the get-go, I honestly think he'll be relieved.
Yeah, I do. I
think he and Mother will just take a long trip to Hawaii where they'll spend their time putting sunscreen on each other and, you know, bemoaning the fact that the sun's so hot. I think that's where they're meant to go.
Yeah. I think so too. I think he got temperance. He's trying. That's why I said he's riding the fence. It's like, I don't want the MAGA people mad at me. I need the MAGA people, but the MAGA people want to hang you and boo you and you're just an idiot. You know, I'm sorry. But he's got a lack of direction. He don't know what to do. He can't move forward because he don't know what to do because he doesn't have a spine and he can't even, I mean, somebody tries to kill you and you still stand up for him. So yeah, he's going to be defeated. He's going to be a failure. He's not going to be able to move on. He can't see the truth. You know, he sees the truth, but he's blind. He's putting a blindfold on. He just doesn't want to see the truth. Right. He knows the truth. He doesn't want to see the truth. So I see the Five of Swords, him walking away from a battle he just can't win. You know, he's not going to be able to get the Republicans to, you know, care. And the devil, you know, in reverse, trying to detach himself from Trump, but he doesn't. He's detached himself from Trump, but he's just, like I said, he's in the middle. He's right in the fence.
Right.
Well, he's trying to be diplomatic, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just the thing with the Republicans is that a lot of Republicans don't want Trump. They don't want anything that looks like Trump. The majority of Republicans don't want that. But the MAGAs are louder. The MAGAs are a small portion of the Republicans. So both DeSantis and Pence are just barking up the wrong tree. Be different. Be yourself. But I think he's going to be happier out of politics. And by the way, his previous career was as a radio host. Like, talk about not understanding your abilities. He's a pretty good-looking guy. You know, that white hair is very attractive. Why don't you put yourself at least on YouTube or on one of those other stupid MAGA channel things that exist? You know, on radio? Really? Who does that these days? I mean, that's just like not reading the room, not understanding your audience, not understanding your political party, not understanding life. That's what I'm saying. He and Mother ought to take a long vacation to Hawaii.
You don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Hey guys, I think, has it been an hour? I'm just wondering, I promised my husband I would only be an hour on my part because I've got a puppy that is having surgery tomorrow and she has separation anxiety. And
you know what?
It has been an hour.
Been over an hour, and you have been great to have on.
Yes, just great.
Yeah, I need to get off here myself. So.
Okay, well, I just, you know, you guys can keep on going, but I just promised my husband. Last time I did a 2-hour show, and he says, you can't do that anymore. This puppy was crying the whole time.
Oh, no. It's just a few minutes past an hour, so we're gonna keep you from getting in trouble. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I'm sorry we didn't get to all the questions, but your statements were really cool, too, that were in all the caps, so I did show a few of those. Thank you, Cleo. Thank you, Deann. We'll definitely do this again. And
I'm going to do it next time.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Deann. It was so good to meet you. It was so good to have your input. I just love the way you come across. I love the way you're doing your readings. The three of us, I thought we did a great job today. I hope those people.
I had fun. I am so happy I got to meet you guys. I've been watching you. I don't get to go in the lives. I save it on playlist and I watch this later, but I've been watching you and I'm like, man, those girls are good. And I wanted to be on your channel, but I didn't know how to reach you. And so I'm so glad you reached me.
Wow.
Great. So good. All right, everybody, we're going to end this broadcast. I'm going to try to play my trailer. I don't know if I have to start it before or after the end. I'm going to try that. I'm going to start it before, and then I'll click on end the broadcast. So, mwah, to everybody, blessings, love, and light. Everybody stay calm and stay cool, and we'll see you next time on
Bye-bye.
PoliTarology.